Our next speaker is from the from the final speaker from the Palestine Coalition, as I think we're calling ourselves now. Someone who I've got to know really well in the last sort of year or so. Someone who was at the front with the delegation on Saturday. Please welcome Ismail Patel from Friends of Aqsa.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. I'm here really to thank you. To thank you for standing up, coming out week in and week out for the past not only 15 months, for many decades. I've been doing this with the rest of our colleagues for at least 25 years. And really, what you've done is amazing. You've put the fear in the establishment of exposing their complicity, fear in the establishment of exposing their violation of international law, putting the fear in the establishment of their enabling a genocide now and for war since I can recall. And because of you, you made possible for two of the most quietest of the six to be arrested last Saturday. So thank you very much. But we also hold a great legacy, a legacy that goes back to the earliest 19th century and the Peterloo Massacre. In 1819, people in Manchester, the working class, wanted to have a vote. The establishment wouldn't allow it. So they took to the streets. And they took to the streets, why? Because they wanted to be represented. And who stopped them? The police, because the police say they did not ask the permission of the police. Unfortunately, on that fateful day, 15 people were killed by the police, by the British police. Since then, and then the Chartist movement, and thereafter, all the other movements that have taken place in Britain is a legacy that we're propelling forward. Whether it is talking about the suffragette, the Bristol boycott, the CND movement, the war against Iraq, the climate movement, all this is a legacy that we're holding up to. And this movement has been central to changing policy in this country, has been central to upholding social values of this country. Not the government, it's the people who have done it. And that's where we stand, and that's where you fit in. And now, as we have done in the past, we are changing that direction. We are changing that direction. And let's be very, very clear that if it was not for yourselves, then Starmer's vision of stopping water, electricity, and food to Gaza would have been materialized. You made that not possible. If it wasn't for you, the BBC's narrative would have buried the truth, and we would have been misguided, and the world would have been misguided. It is your work and efforts that has continued to undermine that and challenge that narrative. If it wasn't for you, Netanyahu today would have not been indicted in the ICC for the war crimes and crimes against humanity. Neither Israel would have been called up for a plausible genocide. So thank you very much. And we have to continue with our efforts. Your coming out has been extremely successful. And it is because of that success, now the government is using its last potential instrument and the police the police in order to intimidate us. So do not feel intimidated. It is because of the success that we have to continue. And we have to continue because we hold a greater value than our establishment, unfortunately. We want humanity, everybody, people of all faiths and no faiths, to be treated equally. And that brings me to something else as well. There is no organization in this country that can boast the unity that we do. We have Muslims, Jews, Christians, people of faiths and no faiths, and people of all different faiths and orientations. We stand together, and they cannot stand that. They do not want to rule a united Britain, because united we can change things. They want us to be divided so they can create compartments and then control us, and we will not allow that to happen. And that brings me to our case, Palestine. We understand and we respect the people of Palestine. what the people of Gaza has shown us over the past 15 months is their steadfastness, their resolute determination for freedom and justice through peaceful means. And this is something we will not be allowed to be tarnished by the British establishment, whether it be the media, the police, or the government. And we as well in the Palestinian Solidarity Movement stand with that. And it is very telling that despite the 77 arrests last Saturday, they hardly managed to even to put charges against about half a dozen of them. This shows that they were prepared to try and intimidate us, to try and portray us as somehow a violent extremist organization. But we are not that, and we will not fall to that trap. We will continue on with our demonstrations peacefully, but we will make sure that we do that until Palestine is free. And please join me for that for next week or the week after, or whenever we call for demonstrations. Until and unless Palestine is free, we will continue to take to the streets. Thank you very much.